Welcome back to Investing Talk podcast. We're going to be looking at energy fuels today. You sent us some info about them, and well, we're going to try to break down the most important stuff.
Yeah, sounds good. We've got stuff about how the stock's been doing, trends in the industry, what's been in the news about them, and some technical analysis too. It's kind of all over the place, so we'll see what we can figure out.
All right, so let's just jump right into it, huh? The stock price right now, it's at $4.28.
Okay.
It's up just a tiny bit in the last day, like 0.71%. And over the past 5 days, it's climbed 3.63%.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you zoom out a little, it gets kind of interesting. Last month, the stock dropped almost 14%, 13.88% to be exact.
Yeah.
And since the beginning of the year, it's down 18.48%. And in the past year, it's actually down by a pretty sizable amount, like 28.19%.
Wow.
But get this, over the last 5 years, it's actually way up, like a massive 380.90% increase.
Oh, wow.
So that just screams volatility to me.
It really does.
Yeah.
That's a huge swing. And, we can actually quantify that a little bit with something called the beta coefficient.
Oh,
And
yeah.
for energy fuels, that number is 3.63.
So what does that mean exactly?
Well, basically, it measures how much a stock price tends to jump around compared to the whole market.
Right.
So 3.63, that's pretty high. It means that this stock, it's going to move a lot more dramatically than the average stock.
Okay.
So all those ups and downs we were talking about, that's kind of baked in with this one.
So, okay, so it's a volatile stock, but what about, what do they actually do? What's their main thing?
Well, their bread and butter, you could say, is uranium.
Uranium.
They're a major player in U.S. uranium production. Actually, since 2017, they've been responsible for like 2/3 of all the uranium produced in the U.S.
Wow, 2/3. That's a big chunk.
It is. It is. But they're not just sitting on their laurels,
Yeah, I saw some stuff about them branching out, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're getting into rare earth elements and other critical minerals too now.
Interesting.
And a big part of that was when they bought Base Resources.
Okay, and what exactly did buying Base Resources get them?
Well, for one thing, it gave them access to some pretty big projects outside the U.S. There's the Kwale project in Kenya
Okay.
and the Toliara project in Madagascar.
Okay.
These are, they give energy fuels a way to produce titanium, zirconium, and the big one here, rare earth elements.
Right, those are really important for a lot of the technology we use for clean energy, right? Like electric vehicles and stuff.
Absolutely. You're spot on. Demand for these minerals it's going way up.
Yeah.
Especially with the push for electric vehicles and all that.
Yeah.
Energy fuels, actually, they have a goal of supplying materials for maybe as many as 4 million EVs by 2027.
Wow, 4 million.
Yeah. So this move into critical minerals, it could be a big deal for them in the long term.
So it sounds like things are looking pretty good for them long term, but I did see that their recent financials were kind of shaky.
Yeah, you're right. There are some challenges there. In the last quarter, they actually lost 19 cents per share, and analysts were expecting a loss of only 3 cents per share. So that's a pretty big difference.
Yeah.
And revenue was a bit lower than expected too. It came in at $39.91 million, but the estimate was for $45.25 million.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is they reported a net loss of $32 million for the quarter.
Okay, so that's not great.
No, it's not. But, sometimes when you make a big acquisition like they did with Base Resources, there are costs associated with integrating everything.
Right.
You've got restructuring, new technology to implement, and just the initial expenses of getting everything up and running.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that could be part of what's impacting the financials right now.
Okay, so we have this interesting mix, right? They're doing well with uranium, they're making moves into critical minerals, but the financials are a bit concerning. I'm wondering how the recent news fits into all this.
Yeah, well, the news actually helps us put things in context a bit.
Okay.
Like the Base Resources deal, it might be impacting their financials now because of all those integration costs.
Right.
But in the long run, it's all about diversifying and getting those critical minerals to market.
Okay.
And then there's the fact that they're the top uranium producer in the U.S.
Right.
And with global demand for nuclear energy expected to grow,
Yeah.
that puts them in a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
And they're ramping up their processing capacity for rare earth elements.
Which makes sense considering the whole electric vehicle thing we were talking about.
Exactly. They're positioning themselves to be a major player in that market.
And I also saw something about an agreement with the Navajo Nation.
Oh, yeah, that's an important one. It's about transporting uranium ore and cleaning up old mine sites. And it really shows their commitment to being responsible and working with the communities where they operate.
And I imagine having good relationships with local communities is pretty important for a company like this.
It is.
Mm.
It can make things a lot smoother when it comes to getting permits and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's not just the right thing to do, it's also good business.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. There's a lot going on with energy fuels. But let's shift gears for a second and talk about the technical analysis.
Sure.
I heard there were some mixed signals there too.
Yeah, the technical indicators they're kind of painting a blurry picture.
Okay.
So the stock price is at $4.28, and like we said, it's been going up a little lately.
Right.
Now, if we look at moving averages, the short-term 50-day moving average is higher than the 200-day moving average.
And for people who don't know, what does that mean? Like, what are moving averages?
Oh, right, good point. So moving averages, they basically track the average price of a stock over a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So a 50-day moving average, it shows you the trend over the last 50 days. A 200-day, over the last 200 days, and so on. And when the shorter-term average, like the 50-day, crosses above the longer-term average, like the 200-day, that could be a sign that things are starting to look up.
So that sounds positive.
It can be, but there's another side to it.
What's that?
Well, the current stock price is actually still below that 200-day moving average.
Okay.
And that usually means that the longer-term trend is still going down.
So we have these kind of opposing signals then.
Exactly. It depends on how far back you look. And then there's the volume of trading.
Right, right.
The recent price increase, it happened with just, moderate trading volume. So that suggests that investors aren't exactly rushing in. It's more like cautious optimism.
So with all this in mind, what's the bottom line from a technical standpoint?
Well, right now, I'd say the recommendation is to hold.
Hold, okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's some upward momentum in the short term.
Yeah.
But the longer-term trend is still down. And the trading volume isn't exactly screaming buy. So it's best to wait and see if that stock price can stay above the 50-day moving average.
Got it.
And also keep an eye on the volume. If it really starts to pick up, that could mean investors are getting more confident.
So it's all about watching and waiting for now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot today. Stock performance, what Energy Fuels does, their new ventures, their financials, the news, and the technical analysis. Let's try to bring it all together for everyone listening.
Right.
So what have we learned about Energy Fuels?
Well, I think that the big takeaway is that they're a company at a crossroads. They've got this strong foundation in uranium production, which could get a boost from growing interest in nuclear energy worldwide.
Right.
But they're also making this big push into critical minerals, which has a ton of potential for growth, especially with the whole clean energy movement.
Yeah, that seems to be the big story here.
It is. But we also have to remember that this is a volatile stock.
Right, we saw that in the beta.
Exactly. And the recent financial results show that they're still working through some challenges as they, make this transition and expand their operations.
So there's a lot of potential, but also some risk.
That's a great way to put it.
All right, so that's Energy Fuels, a company in transition with a strong position in uranium and big plans for critical minerals. Their financials are a bit shaky right now, but they're making moves that could pay off big in the long run. And of course, there's always that volatility to keep in mind. So the question for you, the listener, is this. Does Energy Fuels fit into your investment strategy? Are you comfortable with the risk? And what part of this deep dive stood out to you the most? We hope this is giving you a better understanding of Energy Fuels. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment to let us know what other companies you'd like us to cover.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Thanks for listening.
See you next time.